Hey, welcome to another episode of The Dumbest Thing I've Ever Done. I'm Nicole Fody, you're watching Soundly Awake. If you're new here, welcome, and if you've been here, thanks for coming back. Today is a very special episode because there's a lot of dumbness going on in the world regards to, I don't know if you've heard that everyone is self-quarantining, and I don't know if you heard that there's what do I call it without being demonetized? A pathogen is wreaking havoc, and it's for real serious. And some people who we'll meet today are not taking it seriously. So I asked on Twitter,
some of the dumbest things you've seen people doing these past few weeks, e.g. going on spring break instead of staying your ass at home.
And one of the dumbest things I've done is clearly use wrong grammar. I should have said, what are some of the dumbest things? That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna have to censor some of these that give away exactly who the person is. For example, I've seen some people that were like, my neighbor is a nurse, something or other like that. And I'm like, okay, just in case, on the off chance that that neighbor who's a nurse sees who wrote that and then it is now being exposed on the internet, I feel like I need to, you know what I mean? Let me know if I'm wrong. I mean, this is just what we're doing because, I don't have a quarantine playbook at my side. It's time to drag. Using a concealer that's not a tester and just putting it back. And when asked, saying, oh, I just got here from overseas and walked off with an attitude. Please, I wanted to aim that concealer stick on that bitch's head and yell at her to go home. Oh my God. Not even makeup is safe. Actually, maybe especially makeup is not safe. Actually, why is the makeup store still open? Oh, unless it's a drugstore and there's makeup in the drug. Got it. Also, are testers sanitizable? Like, people who use the testers, like the little lipsticks, and they put it directly on their lips. How do you know that when you're taking your little Q-tip or your lip tester to try it on your own lips, the person right before you didn't just directly saw someone wearing gloves and then touching their face? Here's why this is dumb. You're wearing gloves, right? I know they're protective, right? So imagine this, you're wearing gloves, you touch things in the grocery store. Say you're looking at nutrition facts on a box. You're like, oh, that has too much sugar. And you put it back. And then you touch your face, but you think it's okay because you were wearing gloves, but it's not okay because you touched the box, and then if the germs on the box got on the gloves, they just got on your face! Friend who took me to get my check today, sitting there telling me about how she had her Coke guy come over. First off, I've been in quarantine for 2 weeks. She's been quarantined for 1. Was over here worried she got her mom sick. But you have a Coke guy over. And excuse me, Coke? Then you have me in your car while you're brewing those new germs, knowing damn well I have to be with my parents because I have no place to live after the... I have an inkling that cocaine is not an essential. One of the till workers at the supermarket, who happened to be checking out items for a lady at a neighboring checkout, coughing openly into the air, not covering his mouth or anything, apologizes, proceeds to cough all over her items, and continues to check. We're doomed. People throwing parties at my block. The first thing I thought of when I asked this question was that video of the teens, however old they are, on spring break. Probably not teens, probably like 21, 22, whatever. I'm old now, teens.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
It's really messing up with my spring break. I think they're blowing it way out of proportion.
We need a refund. This virus ain't that serious.
I just turned 21 this year, so I'm here to party, so it's kind of disappointing trying to get drunk before everything closes.
I mean, it sucks, but we're gonna make the best of it. We're enjoying ourselves. We're having day parties all day.
We're just living for the moment. We're just gonna do what happens when it happens. Besides that, we're just trying to have the best trip we can.
Everyone not worried about themselves getting sick, right? Okay, so they're like, oh, if it gets me, it gets me. You've probably heard this 10 million times at this point, but just in case you haven't, okay, yes, you might be fine. But what happens if you get it, you have no symptoms, and then you go out and just touch everything in the world, and then an old person or a person with a compromised immune system goes and touches those same things, and then those people get sick, and for a good percentage of them die. I feel like some people don't, like, it hasn't really, they haven't thought about their role in getting other people sick. The worry is not you might get sick, even though that is a worry. The bigger worry is that it will spread through you. Do you get it? Also, please send this video to anyone who is not listening to these self-quarantine rules. Please. That also means you can't be hanging out at your friends' places. And I know that sucks. Listen, I miss my friends too. We are all in the same boat. Same globe. Okay, I'm going to show you this video that I saw on Twitter just to drive home the point that I'm trying to make, that this person did it much more eloquently and with a graph.
We wanted to see the true footprint social gatherings like spring break beach crowds could really have on our society in the face of a global pandemic. Each of these data points shown on the map corresponds to a unique mobile device active on a given day. You can see clearly that device activity spikes during the 2-week stretch of early to mid-March corresponding with spring break. We can actually track movement of these devices over the remaining weeks of March, seeing where these devices went after spring breakers left the beach. As we zoom further and further out, it becomes clear just how massive the potential impact just one single beach gathering can have in spreading this virus across our nation.
See what I mean? One of my best friends, who manages med supplies at a major hospital, just out living his life and captioning all of it with, "You can't quarantine me. We may not be friends anymore." He manages supplies. Medical supplies. At a hospital. Babe, can you come here for a second? Can you just tell them what your aunt has to do right now?
Okay, so my aunt is a nurse and she lives with my grandma. What she has to do, since the hospital she works in is positive for COVID, she comes home. My grandma leaves her clothes, her change of clothes by the door. She changes it, takes it back to her room, which is upstairs, the second floor. She doesn't see my grandma at all, and of course grandma has sanitized and everything, and they're basically they live in the same house, but they're basically quarantining each other up until she gets ready and finishes everything, sanitizes herself. She has to take extra precaution, extra steps in order for make sure that it doesn't spread.
Yeah. And Rufa
and my cousin, who had flu symptoms, she self-quarantined herself in her bedroom, and my grandma had to give her food trays just so she doesn't get sick, because everyone is trying to protect grandma, of course.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Wow. I just got...
What happened? What? Oh.
That's what people who work in hospitals have to be doing. Your friend... just please. Please, friend. Please, friend. Please. Holding a daily briefing in a confined meeting space nearly inches away from a heavy nose breather. You know how there are different kinds of laughs, right? It's you laugh when something's funny, but you also laugh when something is dire and uncomfortable. I heard that Central Park was crowded today. Did New York close Central Park yet? Can you close Central Park? I know we're allowed to go for walks, thankfully. Going for walks has particularly saved parts of my sanity. So you can go for walks, runs, bike rides. You can be at the park, just make sure you're 6 feet away from other people. If you're running and there's another runner, just make sure that person is at least 6 feet ahead of... Right? But parties, but crowds, I don't know about that. Along the same lines, full-on basketball tournaments. I guess you could play basketball by yourself. You have the ball, you're the only one touching the ball, and it goes in the net, and then you get the ball back again, and then you keep... Right? But tournaments? Do they mean tournaments with robotic humanoids? Partner, Pup, and I went to walk near a local dog park, which is currently closed. At least 15 to 20 vehicles all parked together, and a gaggle of folks in the park with their dogs just hanging out. Here's the thing about dogs too, right? If you're petting your dog at a dog park and then the dog runs around and plays with other dogs, and then it's on their fur, and then the owner of that other dog pets their dog. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's not a good place. We're not going to a good place. I was in Target picking up dog food and groceries. A woman walked by talking on her cell phone. I'm just walking around Target. What else is there to do? I wish I could go to Target every day. I do. I love it. I miss the mall. I miss walking around and buying absolutely nothing. But now's not the time. You can walk around your humble abode, to spend the hours. This is not the time to be strolling around Target if you don't need anything. I feel stressed. I'm stressed. Here in Brazil, people went to the streets gathering in protest against it. Like, hey, please stop, as if it would listen. I can't even wrap my mind around that one. Let's let it marinate. Rejected. Before my day job finally closed indefinitely, I had someone entirely lick their dollar bills before handing it to me. I wore gloves and was sanitizing between every customer at that point. I guess he wanted to be funny. Like when people lick their fingers to separate like money or bags or pages. I also have a thing unrelated to the Rona where like if someone licks a dry thing, or if someone even just touches, like rubs their hand on a dry thing, like a wall, my mouth gets dry. Is that weird? Am I the only person going to church and insisting they're going to shake everyone's hand and hug them because the Lord will protect them? I feel like there would have been some control in the matter and it not being developed in the first place with that logic. Like, we didn't need the Rona. You know what I mean? Who ordered it? I didn't. Oh my God, in reply, oh, I can't even talk. In reply, that's nothing. In Romania, people shared the same spoon during Holy Communion. I live in Chicago, and during St. Patrick's Day weekend, there were lines around the block to get into bars. One woman who was interviewed in line is a nurse. She flew here to go bar hopping. You are a nurse? Ma'am, are you not seeing it with your own eyes? Who? How? Why? What are you doing? These are the glasses I need to use to see the fuckery, because without it, I can't translate. Me following what people are doing on social media. This is the smartest thing I've seen. The most innocuous. You can't get sick from reading tweets. Taking their entire family to shop at Walmart or any other grocery or retail store. You really don't need to bring your aunt, uncle, cousins, grandparents, all 15 kids with you to get groceries and supplies. I understand this. I feel like this should be confined to households. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore. Have we said it all? There's more. People hosting parties. You saw the story about the party where someone got the Rona, right? It was a Rona party, and you see what happened there? My neighbors just got back from New York, and their kids were playing with the neighbor's kid. They're a family of doctors. Okay, what's going on with healthcare professionals here on this day? Do we need to have a talking to? Hello? Today I watched a woman put on gloves before touching the shopping cart, but proceed to have a smoke and play with her phone while we waited to enter the store. Later, a woman at the checkout had a mask on, but only covering her mouth. We do a lot of things mindlessly, okay? I'm gonna give some lenience here based on the fact of ignorance, because we all have it. You just don't realize how much you touch your face, or you don't realize how dirty your phone is from touching it and then touching things outside and then touching your phone again all day and then touching your face, you know? Why? Is there a chimpanzee in my courtyard? Again, let this be a reminder that we do touch our faces. None of us are innocent in the no face touching department. But at least now we can be a little more mindful. Disinfect your phone right after you're done watching this video. Saw someone use gel glasses cleaner as a hand sanitizer. Does that... The governor of Oklahoma took a selfie in a crowded food court last week to prove there was nothing to worry about. Things are not okay here. I get you. I get that. I see it. Yeah, we have a lot of leadership that has some real cognitive problems going on. We got some megalomania, got some greed, got some I don't know what we got, but we got a lot of it, and we don't want it. Driving in their car alone in a hazmat suit and gas mask with the windows down. That I admire. My older brother saying coronavirus was created by the government. Neighbors are having barbecue parties. Miss Rona loves it there. She does. She's been invited to so many parties and has a gift for everyone. Dude came into where I work and made a bunch of jokes about one of his employees who is sick and getting tested. He also wouldn't stop touching things. His face, the counter, the brochures, etc. I've seen a video. I don't even want to find it because I don't want to watch it again. If you've seen it, you've seen it. If you haven't, be blessed. There was a guy on a subway somewhere. He was like licking and touching the bars and everything in the subway on purpose. I mean, who licks things not on purpose? Like, how do you lick something by accident? The real effed up thing about this type of chaos is that the evil people really truly come out and show their true colors. And that is terrifying. Intent to hurt other people. Literally, they should be arrested. That's not even exaggeration. That is literally intent to harm others. Yikes. Please react to the governor of Arizona making 0 sense. And everyone is out. Retail shopping centers are packed full of cars daily and traffic is heavier than normal. He's not taking it seriously and encourages people to go out. I forget, actually, that not every state has the self-quarantine measures. And that's scary, because that means any of them can just travel to other states and spread it. Where is the sense? Where's the sense? What is he saying?
Is Arizona safe right now without a lockdown?
Yes, Arizona is safe, but we have an issue here with community spread. So if people are at home, that's the safest place that they can be. Okay. They should social distance or physical distance. If they need to go to the grocery store, I'd ask them to buy a week's worth of groceries for a week's worth of consumption.
Correct.
But if you're not sick and you want to get outside, there's nobody out here. The place is basically shut down, but you should not gather in large groups. You should not gather in groups of larger than 10. I'd say you should not gather in any groups. You should practice this physical distancing.
Please. How can someone be half right and half terribly wrong? I don't understand. The thing about being healthy, okay, is that I feel healthy right now, right? But what does that mean? I don't know. I could be carrying it. I could literally have it on my person and not show symptoms. Or I could show symptoms next week. But I could still infect people right now. Lady at Target line was holding her mask up to her face, but only when she was talking to the store clerk. Otherwise, she was setting it down on the counter, then took off glove to unlock phone. Glove fell to the floor, picked it up, and put it into purse. I feel like there needs to be mass education, something, gloves and masks. They're sort of icons of sanitation, you know, so you see it and you feel cleaner. But that doesn't mean that if a glove drops to the ground and you pick it up, and just because it doesn't look dirty, this goes back to the why I don't feel sick. It literally it will be covered in germs. Hello? To put it back on your hand. That's a dirty. It's like when a baby has a binky and it falls on the ground. You wash the binky. You don't pick it up and put it back in the baby's mouth. I don't even have a baby. I work in customer service. A man told me that people weren't taking this COVID stuff seriously enough, then proceeded to lick his fingers before counting his money and handing it to me. We went over the stop licking your fingers. If you can't separate, just do the shimmy, do the crumple. The crumple's fine. It's still legal tender. I'm getting agita. Sometimes you gotta let some of the demons out because they're robust and abundant in these days. Rushing out to summer cottages in the countryside just before the lockdown of their municipality. Looked exactly like the chase scenes in Mad Max. Masks. Sorry, I got masks on the mind. You understand. This is what happened to Italy. I don't know if you're aware. Italy took forever to take this thing seriously. And when they did, they didn't warn people to stay where they were at. So a bunch of people just went to stay with family members elsewhere in the country. And you know what that did? It spread the virus. Now we know. And like, well, I guess some of us know, some of us still don't. Oh, I'm gonna have no voice. I'm yelling, but it's worth the yell. In Switzerland, schools locked down before everything else. Guess what the kids did on their day off? Went shopping. Thankfully, all non-grocery stores closed soon after. And in that little window of time, when everyone was just shopping, just going to the mall, hanging out with friends, playing TikTok games, what the kids do, I don't know. That bitch Rona spread. She spread, and she keeps spreading, and we gotta stop it. My mom works in a food shop. She had a customer yesterday who put a load of 10p coins into his mouth, then spat them back into his hand. This is a common theme! She still had to serve him, but was supported by security in refusing to take those coins and sanitizing absolutely everything he touched. There is no doubt in my mind that that is the same man who walked around the grocery store and probably licked things. Listen, we just had to grocery shop today. We sanitized every single package that we got because I started reading things like that. That would have not even occurred to me. It would not even have occurred to me to sanitize packages from the grocery store. But people who have literally no empathy, oh my God, that pisses me off. Holy shit. I'm also trying not to curse. That's not working out. One of my housemates invited his girlfriend over when social distancing was just a guideline in the UK. We all said no. He brought her anyway. He did it again. Now the house feels weird. See, not only is it like endangering other people's health, but clearly it's endangering people's relationships, because I am glad that the people in my life get it, but I feel for the lot of you who are at home with family members who do not get it, and you have to live in a house with someone like that. Or obviously the guy who put the coins in his mouth, that's someone's father or husband or brother or son, and other people have to live with these people. I want to touch my face. I've probably touched my face without knowing it. I wanna put my head in my, here, this is me putting my head in my hands. Do you get the same feeling? Is it the same energy? Oh my, Mamma mia. Thank you for watching. Like I said, please send this video to everyone, even if they do understand, just to understand that so many people do not understand if they haven't been, exposed to the examples here. It sucks that we have so little control over anything that's happening right now. But what we do have control over is ourselves, our bodies, and our potential to expose other people in our communities to the Rona. And so stay home, stay safe, and we just gotta support each other and wait this thing out. Hashtag flatten the curve. That is at least in our control, but we literally all have to work together to achieve it. So that's all I have for you today. More videos coming. If you'd like to support me in this channel on Patreon, please do. I know that a lot of people can't right now because, I feel it. Ken just lost his job because he works in a restaurant and they're just doing pickups and to-goes. So if you're in that boat, I feel you. I feel you. Rent is due in a couple days. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with that. But if you are in a position where you can, my Patreon is patreon.com/soundlyawake. And I appreciate you. And I appreciate also if you're not able to, but you're still watching this video. And I will see you in a few days with a new video. It's probably going to be just as stressful as this one. I'm sorry.